This was supposed to be my last question, but I want to make it my first.
Mm-hmm. Have we already started? Is this?
No. Well,
where is it?
no.
Are we rolling?
Sorry, did I scare you?
I was like, I thought we were just having a conversation. I was like, we went straight in. I sat down.
I scared you. Okay, never mind. I won't ask the question.
Ask the question, but I just didn't know if we was on the record or we were on the record.
Are we okay to be on the record?
Yeah, we're fine. Let's go. There was no introduction. She's like, you come in, the cameras are on.
Welcome to Series Regular. I'm Quay Tan. Hi, and welcome to Series Regular. I'm Quay Tan. In each episode of this podcast, we're going to sit down with a different working actor and discover the irregular ways they broke into the business. Our next guest is a biracial Gemini, a meme queen, and a literal series regular.
In compliance and in support of the SAG-AFTRA strike, all studio, film, and TV credits mentioned in the episode have been omitted.
So each episode of Series Regular, like I said, is exploring the irregular ways my guests have gotten into the entertainment industry. So for example, some people who I'm interviewing, they were casting directors before they became actors, or they were influencers before they became actors. What do you think the irregular way you got into the industry is?
So before I was an actor, I was a dreamer, I was a student. I taught gymnastics and dance to little kids. I worked at a church.
The Lighthouse Church.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I worked at the Lighthouse for a bit. And then I modeled. I just did all the things.
You modeled.
That's what they tell me.
So what I am naming your episode is the Model to Actor Pipeline.
Okay.
Which is a very, very great way, I think, to get into the business. Mm-hmm. Do you think that modeling helped you advance your acting career?
Oh, absolutely. Because I didn't know that acting was something that I had access to. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that modeling was something I had access to. Mm-hmm. I was hideous growing up. When people were like, you were ugly. No, I was ugly. Like if we put a photo up, you'd be like, oh, he needed help. I was just a few products away from being cute, And so, so it was once someone told me I was worthy of something greater, being a model. In my mind, I had what I thought the qualifications for a model were. I did not see those things within myself. So it took people and several years of booking consistent modeling work for me to even see why people were booking me, right? Mm-hmm. So I was going, oh, well, they're booking me because I'm fun and I'm nice and I'm sweet. And they're like, if you were ugly, you wouldn't work. So when acting became my dream, or when I was told I could have access to this if I worked hard, if I was disciplined and I studied and I did those things, modeling became a great way for me to gain experience on sets. Yes, modeling was a great pipeline, but it was also like utilizing the space I was given was the real pipeline. It wasn't just modeling, if that makes any sense.
Okay, but I guess my question is, or the reason why I have framed it in this way, is because what I have seen with your career and in television is that you've done some shorts, but within television, you had this really great recurring co-star role in Dr. Blake Sims. Mm-hmm. And the next project you book is a series lead. Yeah. You led that.
Number one on the call sheet, baby.
Number one on the call sheet. Do you know how long it took Viola Davis to lead a series? 2 Tonys, 20 years. It wasn't until
Oh, and she did that.
She really did. Mm-hmm. But I feel that because you didn't just come into this industry wanting to act, you had a previous body of work. Mm-hmm. Do you think that previous body of work gave you that extra push?
Not at all. No, I absolutely do not think that modeling helped advance me in terms of optics into where, in terms of acting, because I do know that it is through like casting, and a lot of people don't want to hire models.
Why?
It's like, oh, that's just a model who wants to be an actor. It's really hard to overcome like the bad optics of being like dumb pretty, you know? And this sounds like such like privilege problems, you know, like I'm so pretty, but like, you know, it's like, I can't even give, I guess, a good example of like somebody who is not, social media influencers work really, really hard at their job, you know, like fashion bloggers and people who are like food influencers and chefs. And so it's like someone who like has gone shopping is like, I'm going to become a fashion influencer. Right. And they don't realize the amount of work that goes into brand partnerships and deals and all these things. And so to someone who is a serious actor, right? Someone who has developed time and technique and put in the work, and people who honor that seriousness, like casting directors and directors and all these people, when they turn around, they see someone who just happens to be pretty, right? Who immediately thinks, oh, just because I've been on sets modeling and I've posed in front of a camera, that gives me allowance into this world of acting. I should be hired. I should do this thing, but never, you know, taking classes, never done the work. I think it's people have been burned too many times in the past to just allow models into the world without the work.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying you didn't have to do the work, of course. And we're gonna get into your work. Oh no, don't you? Does she wait? But here's my question again about my understanding, and I love that you're giving me your perspective on this. But Mike, isn't it true that when you came to Los Angeles, you had 6 talent agencies wanting to sign you?
Oh, not talent agencies, no, modeling agencies.
Modeling agencies.
Yeah,
okay.
There's ever only been one talent agency that I've interviewed with or like.
That went to sign you, and that was Innovative.
And it was Innovative, yeah.
And you're with them now.
And I'm still with them.
One of the hottest agencies there is.
And my agent, Jennifer Petrides, is the one, let me tell you.
Okay, well, wait a minute. How do you find yourself with Innovative?
So she took a courtesy meeting with me. My agent started in Texas at the mother agency that my modeling agency. Kim Dawson, yes, ma'am. She has done her homework. And my acting coach at the time, Catherine Sullivan. You better say her name. Yeah, Catherine Sullivan out of Louisville, Texas. She is really good friends with Jennifer Petrides, who just happens to be an innovative artist through her own merit and work. And so I came to visit LA for 2 weeks. Hated it. To meet with modeling agencies though. And in that time, they set up a courtesy meeting with Jennifer because they knew I wanted to act. Yeah. And they were like, she begrudgingly took this meeting and told me, I walked in the door, she's like, hi, my name is Jennifer Petrides and I'm not going to sign you.
Whoa.
Like that was the introduction to the meeting, right? And I was like, I was very country at the time. So I was like, that's fine.
Oh, I'm sorry. You were very country at the time?
At the time. I was very good. I've learned to love my accent a lot more now, but I used to mask it completely. I was
you went to a
country.
Speech pathologist.
I sure did for a year. And so I went into this meeting and she was like, this is a courtesy meeting. I'm just here to give you advice. And I was like, great. And then by the end of the meeting, because what she did in that moment was gave me permission to exhale, to unclench, to be myself. I'm like, if there's the only thing I'm gaining here is advice. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I don't have to perform for you. I don't have to be anything for you except me. And that was when magic struck, right? It was the stars aligned. She was looking at my resume. She's like, you do acro yoga? And I was like, yeah. She's like, I do yoga. And I was like, okay. I take off my shoes, I lay in the floor. I like am throwing her up into acro yoga positions. And this is at the Innovative building, right? And so the room goes from being cold to everyone is like running in there, like taking photos. People are laughing. And by the end of the meeting, she's like, maybe I can send you on a few things.
Wait. Hold on. Wait. So when you say acro yoga, you're sitting down on your back.
I'm laying on my back and my feet are in the air.
And you're lifting her.
Like Supermaning. Yeah, it's like a whole thing.
He was definitely raised by white people. No, really. And is your agent, is she white?
She is white lady.
She's white. Yeah. Do you think that maybe you get to like, because you were a part of that culture, that maybe you understand like, I don't know how to communicate with them?
Oh, I don't think acro yoga is exclusively white.
No, but I think lifting someone up in the air at a meeting, at an agency meeting.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but she was just there to give me advice. So at that point, we entered into play, and I have such a jovial spirit that if I'm being myself, I'm just gonna play. I'm like, okay, well, you do yoga, let's play. And she was just happened to be like, okay, and so it wasn't like we made this plan, do acro yoga in a room, or like it was so like stars aligned, spontaneity. It was me seeing you from across a lit up pool at a premiere in a princess dress, and I'm like, I've got to talk to this girl, you know?
No. I had to talk to you.
Well,
I had to talk to you.
And you did, and we fell in love. Like there was I literally left talking about you. You know what I'm saying? So we spoke, right? And that same thing happened in that meeting with Jennifer.
Jennifer.
She might have thought, I don't know what she was thinking. She was like, oh, I'm just agreeing. My friends want me to meet this kid. Mm-hmm. And then at the end, like she and I fell in love. Like it was like, wow. Okay. And she's one of the closest people in my life. Like not just professionally, but personally. Like she is my friend, like my confidant. I always make this joke that we are going to be buried in the same casket. You know, I'm like, you can quote me on this. I will forever, as long as Jennifer Petrides wants to be an agent, be with her. Like it is just, and I know my career is going places. So it's just point blank period. We're growing together, you know?
Oh, no, no doubt it's going places.
No doubt. Yeah, we're headed there.
Okay. A lot of people say that half the battle or most of the battle is just getting in the door. Would you agree that modeling helped you get into the acting door?
Oh, I was like, what door? What door? I'm like, I don't, you know what? People want, anytime they ask me like, how'd you get started? Mm-hmm. I'm the worst at giving advice on this. Yeah. I'm like, I got started because I just started saying yes to things that were presented before me. Like, that again, I didn't think I was worthy of. They're like, hey, this modeling agency wants to meet you. Okay, yeah, sure. I'll go. And then what I led with was kindness, was goodness. It was like, what is the opposite of ego? Humility. I was leading with humility. I was like, I actually don't know this world. Like, do I have desire to be in this world? Absolutely. But I come from a place that literally is a speck of dirt. I think there's like 3,000 plus people in my hometown, Pollock, Texas. You know, it's like, it's so tiny, and we're not taught to dream big there. We're taught to survive there. Mm-hmm. You know, you grow up, you get a job, you move, you continue, you get married, you repopulate, and you go and you work to live. You don't have the privilege of dreaming big, even though you're told you can, right? And so when, hey, do you want to be a model? I'm like, okay, you know, hey, well, just so you know, there's an acting coach here if you want to start taking lessons. Okay. I just so happened to be at the studio that I was taking lessons. Jennifer had come there several times for like seminars, like like several. This acting studio hosts like casting directors and different agents, and Catherine Sullivan's really genius about setting up her actors for success. And so I had these meetings, and when I went to LA, my mother agency and my acting coach doesn't do that for everybody. They're not like, hey, you need to meet with this guy. You need to meet with this guy. You need to meet with this guy. Yeah. Jennifer took a courtesy meeting with me. You know, it was like, she literally, I'm not going to sign you. Wow. The door was not open. She literally said, this is a closed door. What opened the door was, it was me being a great person, her seeing potential in me, you know, and then her going, oh, wait, I want to enter into an agreement to develop you. For 4 years, I might have had 5 auditions. Yeah. In 4 years. Like 3 of them were like self-tapes. I'd send her self-tape. She'd be like, nope, I didn't even send it. Nope. She's like, didn't even go to casting, you know? God. Like, it was like, she was not playing games with me because she had an experience that had told her, if I send this boy into a room too early, it will ruin a shot. So we're going to wait. We're going to wait. And I trusted. I was patient. So people, you know, you brought up, do you think it got you into the door? And it's like, the door is irrelevant unless you are ready. Like, and when you are ready, the door will present itself. You will knock and it will open, you know? And so I'm real big on that. I'm like, working in vain is pointless, you know? I'm like, work on yourself. And if anyone can hear me say anything, work on yourself before you worry about getting a team, before you worry about getting people in your corner. Know yourself, love yourself, figure out what you want to do. Don't wait and sit in front of your agents and be like, where do you see me? No, this is where I see me going. Are you in alignment? Are you in agreement? No. All right, tell me your perspective of me. Maybe I have blind spots. Yeah. Maybe I have blind spots about myself. I didn't know I was perceived that way. That's not in alignment with my greater vision. Let me go and work on myself. Something big about you. I went to your premiere for a movie that Quay not only starred in, but showed out in. There is a performance that is burned into my mind that Quay delivers in this movie. Actually, my biggest disappointment about the movie that Quay was not in it more. I'm like, we want a spinoff.
I agree.
And so we were on a rooftop at the after party. Quay was walking around at her movie premiere, and I look over, she opens her bag and she pulls out a workbook. The Artist's Way at her premiere, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, she's working on herself. She knows herself. No wonder she's receiving all these blessings in her life, because she's in a constant state of self-educating, not waiting for the world to tell her who she is, like discovering who she is in the world, and then going, I actually don't need you to tell me how you see me, because this is how I see me. And if I can see me like that, I can look at breakdowns and go, that's actually me. I don't have to guess like 9 out of 10, maybe 1 out of 100, that's me. I'm like, no, that is me. Okay, I booked this, I booked that, I booked this, I booked that. Great. And I'm like, we can talk about doors. Do you think it helped you get to the door? I'm like, sure, yeah. Like being alive helped me. Breathing helped me. Walking helped me. But saying yes and working on myself helped me the most.
Hi, my name is Devin Way, and I was in the 2012 Kim Dawson model search. So actually, one of my friend's moms entered me into the model search, and I didn't even know. And so when she did, Dan at the agency called me, and they're like, you're in the 2012 model search. And I was like, what? And but I decided to do it anyways, and it turned out to be this incredible, amazing experience that I never dreamed would be possible, because I'm from a super small town, and now I'm pursuing acting in Los Angeles, and I just got back from New York, where I signed with New York Models, and it's just this amazing experience that opened up so many doors for me.
I had an idea for this interview, and you have recontextualized it, and I love that. Okay. So let's talk about the Kim Dawson agency.
Love them. We'll love them till the day I die.
I know.
Keep going.
I know that you joined a model search competition. Isaiah Harvey, your friend is it high school or?
Yeah, he was my high school friend.
High school friend. His mother, Mrs. Harvey.
Yeah, Kathy,
she submitted you without your knowledge.
Yeah, she submitted me to a model search and didn't tell me. And what was so funny is that she didn't submit him. And so that was like, I always laugh about that. And that was the first thing, because he also went to the interview with me. That was the first thing they all asked. They're like, so your mom submitted him, but not you? And so the agency ended up taking photos of him as like all this stuff. And they're like, we couldn't just not. They were so bad. It was so funny.
Did anyone ever mention to you modeling before?
No, I was not cute.
You wore a lot of word shorts and Wranglers.
Oh, I literally I picked my hair every day. So I had this shine afro. I had a trash stash. So my mustache only grew right here. Uh-huh. And then I wore Christian word shirts and Wrangler jeans and like Reebok Asics, like whatever shoes you buy at Walmart. Mm-hmm. And those were my outfits.
Had you already been going to the Lighthouse at this point?
No, because I lived in Lufkin. I went to a different church. It was Clawson.
Okay.
Clawson Assembly.
But you'd already met your father.
Yeah, because he worked at Clawson.
And
then he now is the senior pastor at the Lighthouse in Dallas.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay. So God came first and then Kim Dawson.
Absolutely. yeah. And then
still in that order.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, series regular. If you're craving more of this show, consider becoming a patron on Patreon. The actual runtime for these episodes are 1 hour and 40 minutes. You're listening to a very condensed version. If you would like to unlock full video and full audio, along with discounts on merch, exclusive content, as well as uncensored, uncut, raw interview footage that is so spicy, so steaming hot with tea that if I released it publicly, my guests would kill me. If you want all of that content and so much more, head on over to Patreon. Now back to the show.
You go to the Kim Dawson model search. Mm-hmm. You don't win.
No, I don't. They say I win now, but yeah. But no, I didn't win.
Yeah. You didn't win. So after not winning, what happened?
Well, I was still working. So they actually had signed me under the table before the competition had come to fruition or whatever, because clients were already wanting to work with me.
Oh.
So I'd already started I remember the day of the actual ceremony and the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
I worked. I was on set. I was like doing the thing. I left that, got dressed, got styled, and then went to the announcement. And so the winner won a contract and some money, but I'd already gotten the contract, so it didn't matter.
You better play the ref.
Yeah, I was like, it does not. I'm like, I'm so not attached to like definite outcome. Yeah. I was like, because I know who I serve. I'm like, I know that like I was put, one of the people I really look up to and respect. Her name is Angela Manuel Davis, and she always says, you are here on purpose, for a purpose, with purpose. And so I just like, I know that I'm on this earth with and for a purpose.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, if I'm supposed to be on television, if I'm supposed to be in the modeling industry, if I'm supposed to volunteer at this organization or do anything, if I'm supposed to do that, nothing's going to stand in the way of what God has ordered, except me.
Yeah.
Except me. Just because you are destined does not mean you will get to a destination. Mm-hmm. I was like, you have to be willing to step up, be of service, and work. Like,
you said something in another interview that I listened to yours, which is kind of the opposite of that, which I also loved. You said that everything that God has in plan for you, you're not that special to where you could take that away or mess that up.
Someone told me, oh my gosh, I wish I could remember the exact language for it, but essentially the whole concept is like, if we believe that we can mess up God's plan for us, just rest assured you're not that powerful, and I do believe that.
Yeah.
I do believe that whatever God has ordered will become, but let's say the opportunity will approach you. It can pass you by, absolutely, but the opportunity will come to you. I am not as powerful as to go, all right, God wants me in the industry. Free will was given to me. It's the very first thing that was given, It's the ability to choose whatever we want. I'm like, all right, if I'm supposed to be in this industry, then in obedience, I will walk into that and nothing will get in my way. And I cannot mess this up if I'm in obedience, right?
I knew you was going to come here and give us a word. Well, do you feel like now you're kind of getting this other side of the coin where like people are really, I don't know, fixated or fetishized your biracial identity?
No, I think I probably would have benefited from it a lot more. And I did in modeling. Like, I think I still would if I still had my big curly hair and like, I would benefit a lot more. Colorism is a real thing. But I think after 2020 happened and there was this like revolution, and a lot of things were brought to the surface.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, the Black people who are being cast on TV aren't dark, they are light-skinned, and so they started, people, in order to fix it, started working opposite, started working against the norm, right? Which I think, like dark-skinned people absolutely should be included, like, and should be leads and all these things. And what I found through my experience, though, because at this time I still had never been a lead of a TV show, I'd not done anything, I heard a lot of people disqualifying my Blackness. And so I was raised in an environment culturally that told me I was too Black. And then society, when I got out of that environment, told me I wasn't Black enough. Right. So it created this paradox within me going, all right. And this is the biracial experience, I'm not white enough to be white. I'm not Black enough to be Black. Where do I go? How do I fit in? And then being disqualified for auditions and roles because I'm not Black enough. And then obviously I'm not white. And then, so what am I? I'm the ethnically ambiguous leftover. Like whoever they can, right?
I don't think you're that ethnically ambiguous.
Well, I'll take it. I'm like, I will, but whatever I am, I will be that. And so that's what the mentality I had adopted. I was like, I will be the leftover. I'll be the best friend in this series. I'll do this, I'll do that. And it wasn't until I started checking in with myself. And I'm like, what is not in alignment? It's like, I'm trying to fit into a space that I don't belong. Specifically being, I'm auditioning for friend number 3. I'm auditioning for kind of mediocre looking guy, and I was like, and I am leading man, and I was like, and I had to step into that to realize, crap, I'm actually downplaying what I naturally am, how I naturally show up in the world. And because I'm doing that, I will never actualize in the way I want to, because I keep going, well, I have to book multiple co-stars, and I work my way to guest star, and then I'll be a series regular eventually, maybe, and then maybe I'll get to be the number one, and then maybe I'll do movies, and then maybe, and because that's what we're taught. We're taught you work your way up that. I'm like, not my life. I was like, I booked my reoccurring on. They wrote me to kill me.
Yep.
And then Debbie Allen walked around and was like, y'all aren't going to kill that boy. They changed the story. COVID hit. I then entered into, I started testing for the leads of projects. And I was like, what? This is crazy. And then I booked as the number one on the call sheet, the leading man. I went from what it was, I don't even remember my number. I think it was like 48 call sheet to number one on a call sheet.
How did you do that? How did you make that big jump?
How did I make that big jump?
Yeah.
I can tell you there was a very specific streamline that happened within me. So fast forward, I was on pandemic hit, blah, 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 blah. It's now January of next year. December of the year following, I got an audition for a project called, it's a Nancy Drew spinoff. Cameron Johnson, who's an amazing showrunner and writer, he was leading it. And the lead in the breakdown was like black, queer, super hot, the hottest guy you've ever seen in your entire life. Well, and I was like, I get this audition. I was like, okay, I get to audition to be Tom. And he's that hot. Let's go. And I get a call from my agent. And she never calls me about auditions, like before I do them. And she's like, hey, I want to talk to you about this. You got this Tom Swift audition. I was like, yeah. And she's like, he's really good looking. I was like, yeah, I saw that. And she's like, they said no to you. And I was like, huh? I've not even done the tape yet. And she's like, so I said, you don't think Devin Way's good looking enough? And so she's like, she went and she did all this research. Found all these model photos and sent it to casting. Casting's like, sure, we guess he can audition. And she's like, so I know you always look good, but like look really good for this one. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, how do I make myself look better? I bought a ring light. I'm like, sure. I do the tape and I'm like, dang, I go home for the holidays. I'm like driving back into town. I get a call. I'm testing to be. And I'm like, what? I'm going to test to be the lead. And it required me to answer the questions. Can I be black on camera?
Wait, what? Whoa.
Hi, series regular. If you're craving more of this show, consider becoming a patron on Patreon. The actual runtime for these episodes are an hour and 40 minutes. You're listening to a very condensed version. If you would like to unlock full video and full audio, along with discounts on merch, exclusive content, as well as uncensored, uncut, raw interview footage that is so spicy, so steaming hot with tea that if I released it publicly, my guests would kill me. If you want all of that content and so much more, head on over to Patreon. Now back to the show.
The job didn't require me. I had to answer these for myself.
Oh.
Because he's a black lead.
Yeah.
He's queer. Am I comfortable being gay on camera? I've never had to answer these questions for myself before, right? Because I'm still in real time answering them for myself. Like I'm living in a world who's telling me I'm not white, I'm not black. I'm living in a world that's like, oh, if you're gay, you're not film, you're not this, you're not this, you're not that. Like you're too wholesome to be gay. You're like, which people have told me, and I'm like, okay, but can I lead a show? But based on the rules of Hollywood, I've not met the standard to lead. I've only done one co-star. Yeah. And so can I do any of this? And I said yes, and yes. I was like, absolutely. I had to answer that for myself, which had nothing to do with the job, right? Nothing. It was for me. I test for the job. I establish a quote. I'm like, whoa, there's a quote. I learned what a quote was because I didn't even know what a quote was, So no, I never even heard the words quote. I am positive I booked this job. Positive. I'm packing a bag. I'm moving to Canada. And I didn't get it. And I was like, what? Okay. Well, it wasn't mine. It's fine because I learned valuable lessons in that. There's a movie called with The Rock. I was auditioning for a character who I believed to be the young Rock in it. And they were very adamant. They're like, this guy's body has to be amazing. I sent off the self-tape. It's amazing. I'm like, wow. Casting calls. They're like, we want photos of Devin's body. I'm like, let's go. I take off my shirt. We're 2 years into the pandemic. I got pandemic body. I got on the ground doing some push-ups. I stand up. My roommate's taking snaps of me. I'm doing some push-ups. I stand up. He's taking more pictures. I'm like doing some crunches. I stand up and I'm like, Shane, how do I? And he's like, bro, that's just what you look like.
Mm-hmm.
And it hit me in the face. I was like, the only reason I'm not going to get this job is because of me. I was like, I killed that audition. And I have been lying to myself about what my position is in this industry. My position is not, moderately attractive, homie, friend. Yeah, sure, I can play that. I don't think I'm the hottest guy in the room ever. But I really don't ever. But what I was coming to terms with is that my stature, I'm 6'1.5". I am charming. It lends me more to a leading man perspective. And with that, Hollywood has told me if I want to be an action hero, if I want to be a superhero, if I want to be a heart stopper, I have got to have a body that bodies. You know what I'm saying? And this role specifically, because we know the standard The Rock operates in.
Yeah.
We know what he looks like. If I'm going to put myself in his younger shoes, my body has to be beyond reproach. I have to become undeniable. And the responsibility for that is me. So I take a step back. I take a deep breath. I check in with myself and I'm like, you know, that's on you, right? And I go, yeah, Devin, I know that's on me. And this before casting has not even said anything. Yeah. I know just before I send these photos, it's not mine because of me. And this is not negative thoughts. It is honesty, right? Honesty. And I call my team and I'm like, just so y'all know, this year I'm becoming undeniable. And they're like, what? And I'm like, and next year I will be undeniable. And they're like, okay, Devin, what does that mean? I said, it means I'm getting a trainer. It means I'm getting into class. It means I am going to work on therapy. It means I'm going to get in touch with my emotional side. It means I'm going to, and I list all these things. And I was like, so when an opportunity comes, I will never be the reason I did not get that job. Okay. Sure, it maybe belonged to someone else. Sure, but I will never, ever, ever in my entire life again be the reason something is not mine. I'm going to become undeniable. And then it locked me into a work ethic that I had not ever experienced before. And that's how I got Queer as Folk. Because what it did, I'm like, I didn't get it because I was best actor who auditioned for it. I didn't get it because I got it because 6 months earlier, I answered some questions about myself. Am I Black? Am I queer? Am I leading man? I said yes. I then started working in alignment with those things. And then I started loving those things about me. I started celebrating those things about me. I called my team and I was like, hey, because I became increasingly aware that I was about to book something. And I was like, I don't want to audition for, in this time right now, I didn't want to audition for multicams because they gave me anxiety. I found it really hard to try and be funny. I was
Are there that many multicams?
Well, at the time, I just need to communicate it. I was like, anytime I get an audition for this, I get really and I don't want to book something that's going to give me anxiety at that point in my life, right? So I communicate, and this is me having booked one co-star. That's it. I'm like me with no resume, talking to my team, being like,
turning it
hey,
down,
let's
honey.
maybe, because I was like, I focused on my integrity, and I was like, if what is in alignment with me and within my integrity, everything else is a no. I got the audition for. Brody's Breakdown was listed as a short king. I Googled what a short king was. It is someone who is because I didn't know. I Googled what a short king was. It's someone who is not tall. And I was like, I reach out to my team. I'm like, hey, this character is a short king. I'm not. So thank you. But, based on integrity, I can't audition for this. And And casting wrote back and they're like, we're open to seeing taller gentlemen as well. And I was like, perfect. Now it's in alignment. Like now I'm not auditioning for anything that is outside of integrity.
That's bold as fuck.
Oh, if we want to really spill some tea, I got an audition for a project. I got an audition for a project. It was an anthology series. I got the audition. The breakdown is gay, BIPOC, POC, assistant who is gay, black, this person's black, blah, blah, 26 or whatever. I opened up the sides for this audition and like big names were attached to this. Open up the sides for this audition. The very top of it, it's like making up his name. Mike, 26, white. And I'm like, And I begin to read this audition, right? Mm-hmm. Every single thing in the whole audition is about color. It's like this white guy who I would be playing picks up this black woman at an airport. She can't get into her Airbnb because they think it's, like her hair's different in photos. So he like picks up the phone, he calls, he gets her Airbnb. They're talking about like racial issues and all these things. And like, it is wildly inappropriate. This whole audition is wildly inappropriate. One, because someone was lazy and just didn't change the top of an audition and say, erase the word white and put like, whatever. But two, because the writing was so clear that they wrote this for a white person and they're now ticking a box to put a black person in it. And when you put two black people in this scenario, based on the writing, it became disgusting. Like it was like, and so I took a red pen, I wrote all over the sides, I changed it, and I was like, this is what's problematic when you fill in people of color for white people without changing the writing. And I edited the entire audition, I scanned it, and I sent it back to my team. And and I don't encourage people to do things like this, but remember, we were like it was like 2021. Mm-hmm. We were like, like change has to come. I was like, and I was in my integrity bag. I was like, anything that is not in alignment, I was like, we are holding people accountable. I don't care who the casting people are for this. We will send this to them. They will know that it's not about me. They shouldn't have sent this to a group of black people. And now every single person in their house is having to deal with who has read that script. It opened it up. Oh, this is black and it's queer. Open it up. Nope, it's white. You were just now, I'm now having to sacrifice my time, my energy, my essence for this project that is using me to tick a box and is inappropriate. And the people attached to it, I'm like, y'all, you doing this? So casting calls and they're like, oh my God, we're so sorry. We don't know how that happened. They're actually changing the script, not based on me. They were just planning on doing it anyways. But we really need to get this role cast. So we sent out the old sides, but just trust us that we're completely changing it. Everything's changing. It's, going to be right. Because I also looked up the writers. They were all white. I looked up like all the things. The person attached to it is a really amazing person of color. And so when she got in, I think she started changing everything. But the casting process had to move. The pressure they were putting on casting moved them a lot faster than the integrity allowed. And so when it came to us, it was way out of line, way out of pocket. And then I ended up anyways. So again, I don't encourage people to be that sassy about things, but because I knew myself and I knew what I was working on, I knew what I would allow in and what I was not allowing. I'm out and what I expected of myself. And so when Short King, I'm not a short king. I can't audition for that. Right. He's not me. That belongs to someone else. Hey, they're actually open to seeing different people. Okay. I read it. I was like, oh my God, he's me. He's from a super small town. He's biracial. He's like, all these things. And I was like, I've never been connected to more of a character. And because I was in alignment, they were right. The door was open. It wasn't because, I was a model 2 years ago. It wasn't because, it was simply because I took the time to get to know myself. I understand and love what integrity is. Like I sit down, I talk to my team. This is how I see me. How do you see me? Oh, we're in alignment. Great. Let's go. Like I'm willing to work. It is not we talked about commissions. We get the check. We get 90%. They get 10. We need to do 90% of the work. Yeah. Their job is 10% of the work. It is not their job to make sure we are in shape. It is not their job to make sure that we are talented. It's not their job to make sure, like any of these things. And that's on us.
It's hard for anybody that's in a beauty industry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm naturally,
Stunning.
Thank you. I really don't have to I do a little bit of working out, do a little bit of walking,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't have to have ripped abs,
Mm-hmm.
How often are you working out?
Today?
No, just what is your routine? How often do you work out?
So that is something that actually is my biggest struggle. I'm not disciplined when it comes to being physically active at all. I am someone who's
you were a SoulCycle instructor.
Not by choice. I moved to LA. My agent Jennifer said, I want you to become a SoulCycle instructor.
Why?
I said, I thought you wanted me to be an actor. And she goes, yes. And while we were working on getting you ready, SoulCycle at the time was the coolest thing a person could do. It will desensitize you to LA. It will keep you financially stable. So when you have an audition, you're not desperate. It's not, I have to book this. It will give you a community. It will keep you in physical shape. It will allow you to work on your speaking. Celebrities, managers, casting directors will come to your class. They will become fans of yours and they will root for you. She had a whole plan around it.
Jeez.
And all I had to do was surrender and trust. I was a SoulCycle instructor for 4 years. 4 years.
Yeah.
Having maybe a few auditions. And half those auditions she didn't even send because I was not ready. And I'm so grateful I had someone protecting me throughout the experience. And if I didn't trust her, I'd be like, I did not come here to be a fitness instructor, blah, blah, blah. And I'd hoot and holler. But we were in alignment. I'm like, I trust you to teach me what I need to do to make it. And then cut to, I didn't have to go through the whole, I'm a co-star 100 times, I'm a guest star 100 times. I didn't have to because what we were working on was leveling up in secret.
Did that happen? Did people come to your SoulCycle class that were rooting
That's how
for
I got
you?
my manager.
Really?
He came and he took my SoulCycle, Michael Baum at Impression Entertainment. He's an amazing manager. If you want to know who he reps, just look him up. And he reps stars.
Still gagged you're saying first and last names. Love it.
Oh, I mean, he's incredible.
Yeah. Okay, I heard that you did a remedial SoulCycle training in New York. Is that true?
Oh, absolutely. They put me in they had the SoulCycle training that they brought in. That's gonna be three months in New York.
Yeah.
And they made me come 2 weeks early for you really, really, really got to work because you're really bad at this, for a remedial SoulCycle training.
It's so interesting because your friend Isaiah, whose mom submitted you to Kim Dawson, he's also a SoulCycle instructor.
Now because of me.
Because of you.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is a cult of SoulCycle? Why is everyone?
I was doing it. I recognized he would be really talented at it. And then I begged him to audition.
Do you mind if we take a quick trip down memory lane? Do you mind if I show you something? You won't?
Yeah, sure.
You'll be okay?
I mean, if it's fine. Okay.
Yeah, don't freak out. It's you talked a lot about training. Wait, where are you? Are you ready?
I mean, maybe.
Do I need to turn it this way so you can see?
Me?
It won't play.
No. Where did you find this?
This is you and Catherine Sullivan. It won't play though. The sound.
Oh my gosh.
Turn the sound on.
No Japanese, no Vietnam. You my poser.
You my poser when I want justice. You my poser when I want equality. Want me to go somewhere and fight for you.
You won't even stand up for me right here in America. For my rights and my religious beliefs. You won't even stand up for me right here at home.
Yes!
Wow. I am shaken, not stirred. Wow. That is you. I was not expecting that. Okay.
That was your beginning.
That was my beginning, yeah.
That kid out there in Catherine Sullivan in Texas acting class is the lead of a freaking series and has booked projects. We won't talk about it, but has booked projects through one of the slowest times in our industry.
Yeah, thank you.
No, two of the slowest times in our industry, a pandemic and also now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's crazy because I was looking back and I was like, I've had 3 jobs now total, which I feel like I've worked a lot more, which is crazy. I've had change my life. And now I've had 2 series regulars
Last question. Why did you agree to this interview?
because of you.
Because of me?
Yeah, there was no other reason why. Yeah, it was simple. It was just you.
Is there any question you wish I asked you that I didn't?
No.
Okay.
No, I think you killed it.
Well,
You
then-
know more about me than I do. So
You're a sweetheart. Thank you so much for your time. You've been such a joy. Thank you, Devin.
you. Thank you.
That's a wrap.
You did it.
That's a wrap. Oh,
If you want to hear more Series Regular, become a patron on Patreon. There you will unlock 24 hours of Series Regular content, full videos, and full episodes. These interviews are actually over an hour and a half long. We also have Series Regular merch. You can go to queitann.com. That's QUEITANN to buy Series Regular merch. Give us a 5-star rating wherever you listen to Series Regular. It really helps. Series Regular is a product of love. It is created, edited, hosted, written, produced, directed, all by me, Quei Tan. I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for listening. And I'll be seeing you on the regular. Series Regular.
welcome to Series Regular. I'm Quei Tan.